thing I miss the most about my competitive years in powerlifting are competing against these guys. Like Ed Coan, by far, I miss him the most. When I first saw that guy, I had to excuse myself to throw up. That's how nervous I was because I'd spent my whole college career watching videos of him every single day. My senior year, not all four, but then getting to see him, which was in 2001 at the WPO, and then getting to compete against him only once. But this is what I miss the most, and just watching how professional this guy is, and like still consider him a friend, and still look up to the guy. Like he always did everything so methodically. Everything was perfect. You just don't see that quite as much anymore. Maybe that's me being old. I don't know. And then Chuck Vogelpohl, like when I saw the Westside dudes roll in, that was the most exciting time. But this was by far my biggest competitor. Like the thing is, when he hit big squats like this, I remember watching this 1025, and thinking, holy cow, I gotta go against this guy. He did this at like a national meet. It wasn't the WPO, and I was thinking, I've got to get my stuff together because we just competed against each other and he'd only hit like 8 something. And then here we are like a few months later doing 1025. I realized, the sitting back and just adding a few pounds wasn't going to work. I was going to have to get right. That was 9 something. I had watched him do that. Then Paul Urchick, God rest his soul. Like, what a humble soul. Like, I believe that dude would have believed himself a little bit more. He would have done even better. But you're talking about a guy who was, totally 22 something easily, and he could bench, he could squat, he could deadlift. He just, I don't think necessarily he believed. And then Kenny Patterson, and Louie Simmons. When I saw the Westside guys roll in 2001 in Orlando, it was the biggest moment of my career. I just was so excited, and just noticing how they were all built very, uniquely. They all looked the same. They were all ripped, but they all had these thick stomachs, as you can see in the guy in the middle, and just, they were something else. And Kenny Patterson, his arms, his triceps were so huge. That guy, I'd worked so hard on my bench press, and in 2005, which you'll see in a few minutes, I had set the world record in the bench press, and he took it from me 5 minutes later. But I held it 5 minutes. But getting to go again, here's some of the meets. This was the 2005 USPF. This is when I got to go against Ed Coan, and you see, we were in the ball game together. This is the 2005 WPO. This is when I was number 1 overall body weight, pound for pound. But look at some of these names, like Steve Goggins. This is the 2004, my first one-on-one. I was still I was the top lifter. My career just didn't last long enough. But look at some of these names, just absolute beasts. This is what I miss, seeing these guys. It was so much fun competing against these legends. And here's Ed Coan. This is at the very first one I was telling you about, the very first WPO. It was filled with, I was way down at the bottom, next to Chuck. Where was it? As you can see, number 20, Chuck was 27, I was 28th. But obviously the 220 class wasn't doing that good because he was second and I was third, and that was my first pro meet. I was just happy that I was in the mix. That was some studs at that meet. It was just an exciting time. The 2002, I have to mention this one because here I saw Joe Ladnier for the first time. I remember thinking, oh gosh, is he going to come back and go to the 220s again because he was such a legend? But luckily he went 225s. So that was a big breakout meet for me. I was not the top, but I was in the top 3 there, total 21, whatever it was. But Gary Frank, Angela Bernanelli, it was a big one for me. So then I just want to say, then you see that, here's a bit of advice. I think one of the reasons why I don't think I'll ever be in the mix of like one of the best of all time is because I just didn't have longevity. As you can see, like it wasn't, in October 2004, I did the WPO finals and totaled, it was 24 something. Then I turned right around March 2005, total 24 something again. Then I competed at Nationals in June, and then the Mountaineer Cup June 25th. And there was a qualifying meet as well that's not in there. And so, yeah, I mean, there was another meet that I had to qualify for the Mountaineer Cup. So I had to go to this little meet in Georgia. Actually had my best deadlift. I did 365 kilos, 804. But so that was my 5th meet in like less than a year, way less than a year. And so I just made some bad decisions. You know, I wanted to make sure everyone knew that I was strong, no matter if I was doing single ply, double ply. But I just wanted to end with this advice. It's like, you know, I think Ed Coan told me 2 big meets a year. Once you're at this high level, and I should have listened to him. So for all of you listening, 2 big meets a year is what I would stick to, and have that long career like he did, 20 years, and maybe you'll be in the mix of the best of all time. But that's what I just competed too much, and so don't do that. I'll leave you with that bit of advice. Thanks for listening. I hope this was fun for you. I just wanted to make this, it's like a trip down memory lane. But go to matchelite.com and check out all of our free information. Hopefully there's something there that'll help you out. Thanks.